guys, I'm back with another video. I'm Nicole if you're new here. I thought this week, I wrote this down a couple of weeks ago when I saw it floating around, and it's the book addiction tag. So I thought I'd give it a try. I have some of them written down. I think there's 14 questions what I've got written down. I will put who created the tag in the description below once I've found who actually created it. So let's just jump right into the questions. So the first one is, what is the largest amount of time you can go comfortably without picking up a book? It depends if I'm in a slump. If I'm in a slump, it can be a little while. It could be like up to over a week. If I'm not, normally like 4 to 5 days. Currently, I've gone 3 days without reading. That feels really weird. So hopefully, once I finish this video, I will pick up my current read, whether I put that, and start it, because I've been putting off. I finished a book. I finished Crooked Kingdom, and then ever since I haven't picked up a book. So I really need to pick up one, because I haven't read for one. I've only completed 2, but the other ones are going to be really easy to read because they're my favourites. So. But yeah, normally like 3 to 5 days is the longest I think I can go without reading a book. Question 2 is, how many books do you carry on your person or on a device at one time? On person, I normally have at least 1 book with me, but then I have the Kindle app on my phone, so I have however many Kindle books I have on my Kindle. I think currently I have 20 that I haven't read. So yeah, so if I've not got my Kindle with me, I have it on my phone. So I normally have a book with me wherever I go then. Question 3 is, do you keep every book you buy or receive, or are you happy to pass them on? It depends on the book. I mean, because my whole family reads, like in my house, me and my mum both read, so if there's a book I won't like, I might pass it on to her, and if there's one she's been given, she might give it to me, that she's not sure of. But it's very rare that there isn't a book that I've been given that I don't like. So, but if it isn't one that I like, then or if I've read it and I don't like it, then I'll take it to a charity shop and someone else can have use from it that way. So it's very rare that I do give books away. I actually don't know how many I have in my collection currently. I have 3 bookcases and a cart, so take that as you will. Question 4 is, how long would you spend at a bookshop on a standard visit? A standard visit could be somewhere between 10 minutes and half an hour for me. That's on a standard visit. If I'm going in to browse, then it could be hours. But my local bookshop's a small one. We have one where I live in Cornwall, and it's a half bookshop, half a cafe. And the person that owns the shop knows we go in to have a browse. So, and she'll tell us if there's any new releases that's come out that she's got. But yeah, normally 10 to 15 minutes is 10-15, half an hour tops. We'll go in to have a little browse and buy some books. Question 5, how much time do you per day do you actually spend reading? I do most of my reading at night. Sometimes I'll read during the day, but most of the time I do it at night. So it could be like 2 to 3 hours that I'll sit down reading. But honestly, it just depends how tired I am, how much I want to read that night. I at least want to read 50 pages a night. So sometimes I could read like 5 chapters, like I done with Crooked Kingdom the other night, when I only plan to read like only a couple. I literally finished the book on one. So I started it a couple of months ago for a different reader one, and I never carried it on. I got halfway and I was like, I need to stop because otherwise I'm gonna finish it, and then I never carried on because I get scared to finish books when I know they're coming to the end, and I actually finished all of it in one sitting. So that was fun. Question 6, where does the task of picking up a book appear on your daily to-do list? I don't do daily to-do list, to be honest. It's just I pick it up whenever I have time to, whenever I feel like it. I'm not a list person per se. I mean, if it's for a specific thing, if I know I've got to do it today, I'll have a mental list in my head, but I don't have a physical to-do list. So it's normally whenever I have free time or whenever I feel like it. That's it really. Question 7. How many books do you reckon you own in total, including ebooks? I reckon I have somewhere between 200 and 400 books. That's including ebooks and audiobooks as well. But I can't say, I'd have to actually count it. So maybe once I'm in the editing stage, I'll count all my books and tell you guys the number. So we'll see. Number 8, approximately how often do you bring books up in the conversation? So it's pretty easy because a lot of the people I talk to are book readers as well. But if it's someone that I doesn't read, I only bring it up like once or twice. Like I spoke to my dad and stepmom last night, and I think I mentioned it about maybe once or twice. I mentioned that the book I was reading, but that was about it. If it's to my mum, then we'll both discuss our current reads. My brother, he's more of a gamer, so I don't really talk about that with her. And my sister, when I speak to her because she works, it depends when we've got the time to speak to each other. But normally I'll tell her what I'm reading at least once. So I think at least once or twice I will bring it up in a conversation with someone. Okay. Number 9 is, what is the biggest book page count you have finished reading? I want to say it's either Crescent City, as in House of Earth and Blood, or Outlander. That was a big book, but like because I have paperbacks and hardbacks, I can't say which is my biggest paperback or which was my biggest hardback. I want to say Crescent City is my biggest hardback, and Outlander is my biggest it's like 900 and something pages. I'm pretty sure Crescent City is pretty close to that, so it's one of those two. Number 10, is there a book you have had to get your hands on against all odds? Search bookstores, online, digging. Oh, there's definitely been some. I think the one most recent would be, actually I'm not sure. I've definitely done it, but I can't think of a book on the top of my head. Maybe I know I helped my mum look for The Darker Shade of Magic, but that was my mum. Oh, ACOTAR. I've not got it yet, but it's on my list to get, and I know where to get it from. But it's the ACOTAR in hardback in the newer covers. Also, the Cruel Prince. I still need to get it, but I found luckily it's both at the same place where I've got like Cruel Prince in. So it's really weird. I have the first one on paperback and the second one on paperback, and then have the third in hardback, and then both of them, how the King of Elfin have in hardback. But I really want to have Cruel Prince and hardback to match, so that. And then I have the ACOTAR Collector's Collection, so I really want to have the first book in that, and I found it on Blackwell's, so I'm hoping to go get that. It's my birthday soon, so maybe with some birthday money I'll get that, or I don't know. Yeah, I think that's those are the ones I've hunted the most to find where to get them in hardback for, because they're really hard to find for some reason. 11, is there a book you've struggled to finish because you refused to DNF? See, I'll put books on hold and then I'll restart them later at a later date. The only books, I think that was me with like Hunting Party, but I eventually did just DNF it because I just couldn't. It wasn't my type of genre. It was a book club pick, and normally if it's a book that I'll go back to it later at a later date and try it again. But I'm like one of those people that will like start reading and just put it on pause for like months. So I started Serpent and Dove last September and I've still not picked it up since. And I do plan to read the whole series. So, and it's the same for A Darker Shade of Magic. I have the paperback version. I think it was for a buddy read, and we all started reading it, and I liked it. My mental health wasn't the best at that time, so I put it on pause and I just haven't started it. That's my version of sometimes only 2 books I've actually remembered DNFing are Hunting Party by Lucy Foley and I'm really ashamed to say this, but actually Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. I do want to that's the one I want to reread. I want to try it again and see if I like it. Now it's been like a year since I tried it. I just think mentally I wasn't in the right headspace when I was reading them. So, we'll see. That's my version. I don't actually push on, and if I do, it's because I can't really think of one recently that I've physically pushed on. Actually, no. Fire. I'm currently reading it. And I want to DNF it, but then I also don't, because the other book, there's more than, it's the second book in a series, and it's the Grace and Rail series. And I really want to enjoy it, but at the moment, it's just like, no, I'm not enjoying it. But at the same time, I want to finish it. So, yeah, it's one of my current reads. I have put it on pause until I finish my read of one, though. But yeah, Fire's one I'm pushing to finish because I don't want to DNF it. So actually, I do have one. Number 12. What are 3 of your main book goals of this year? Or some? So one of my reading goals for this year is to read more non-fiction. Read more classics, because I have some classics in my collection and they just intimidate me. And to read some bigger books, because intimidation. So yeah, that's some of my reading goals. I have other ones like reading more books by people of colour and LGBTQ+, but that's a goal that I've always had. It's always a goal for me each year. So I've read the Heartstopper series by Alice Oseman. I've read some books by Angie Thomas, and I just want to read more of that kind of like, maybe read some books by some Asian people with the Asian hate stuff that's going on. So yeah, I definitely want to read more books. So if you have any recommendations, put it down in the comments and I might check them out. 13. Have you ever had the privilege of converting someone into a reader by inspiration or so actually my mum. So she never used to be, she was a reader when she was like younger, but I got back into reading last year. It's actually been over a year now. Wow, that's crazy. And actually on my birthday last year, I was like, here's a book I'd like you, it was during COVID and she was on furlough, and I was like, here's a book by Jojo Moyes, and it was Me Before You. I'd read it before the movie came out, when the first movie came, and so I gave it to her and she loved it and devoured it in, I don't know how long it took her. It took a little while, but I'm a faster reader than she is anyway. And then she ordered the other ones, but they hadn't come in time by the time she'd finished it. So yeah, and she's now read Agatha, she's read the Grishaverse, she's got like a full bookcase now pretty much. Some of them isn't completely full shelves, but they're getting there. So yeah, I actually converted my mum into a reader, so I love that. Number 14, and this is the last question. Describe what books mean to you in 5 words. Oh, I don't know if I could describe it. Okay, let's try. The best feeling in the world. There we go. Does that work? The best feeling in the world. It's just, to me, I'm going to go slightly into detail here now. It's escapism because of the stuff I've been through in life. It just helps me escape. It's just love, you know, I just love it. And, you know, I've been reading for as long as I can remember. Like, my parents used to read to me when I was little, and then as soon as I was able to read proper books, I would read anything I could get my hands on. I read Harry Potter. I didn't read Percy Jackson because that wasn't in my kind of like time. It just definitely wasn't as popular as it was, because obviously I'm from the UK, so is when the US people were like Percy Jackson, it was Harry Potter for us, because, you know, of the, I'm not going to say her name because I don't support what she supports. I definitely am a supporter for trans rights and I'm a safe place, so yes, but I have a big collection of that because it took me years to collect. At some point I will be doing a bookshelf tour, so you can see that, but I just need to sort my bookcases out a bit more before I am comfortable with sharing it. But yeah, it was just a whole escapism. It's been my whole life. I can't remember a time when I've not been reading. That's yeah, I think that pretty much sums up my life. Like, I think I stopped reading when I was at college, and when I started working, then I stopped working, and then COVID happened, and during COVID I started reading again. It was actually Infernal Devices, because I watched the Emma Books had done a Shadowhunter reading order, and I've mostly stuck by it. I've done it slightly different because obviously I wanted to read some other books at the time as well, but I pretty much followed that order, and yeah, I really like the chronological order, and that's the order I would always recommend to people. When they say, oh, what order to read it in, I say do it in chronological, because it just makes the most sense timeline wise. But yeah, I think that's it for this video, and I'm really excited because my birthday is next week, so next week's video is going to be like my birthday haul. So you're going to see what I got, what books I got. I literally have a pile already because I'm in this birthday book club, and every month it's someone, you get gifted 11 books by people for each of the months. So I'm really excited because it's fun. And yeah, and also the person whose birthday was like towards when it first started, around that time, is the person that gets to pick the book for this month. This month it's Shuggy Bane or Brain, something along that. I can't pronounce the words, it looks really weird. I tried to get on BorrowBox, but it's currently on loan, so I'm waiting for that. So hopefully once that's, I can't get it until June now though, so I'm gonna be behind on that. As soon as I can't join the book club, cool, but it's fine. I am looking forward to reading it though. It's a it looks sort of non-fictiony to me, which is definitely out of my comfort zone. Hence, I want to trying to read some more. I have Enchantlings by Sam Hewen, which I can't wait to read. I also have a Queen Victoria book. Queen Victoria is one of my favourite history. Like, I remember doing this year 6 project, and I'd done all Queen Victoria, and she's always been my favourite. So, yay! But yeah, so that's me going a bit off topic anyway. I'll see you guys in the next video when you see my book haul. Bye!